Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a kind of an update video relating to intake. Many years ago, well not that long ago, I did a video on the state of fall intake, and I figured since we're a little over the hump, a little over that thing that no one wants to say to avoid demonetization, let's explore the state of spring intake given how far in advance we are since that time. So if you're interested in my thoughts on the state of intake, then keep watching this video. So one of the things right off the bat that I can say changed or caused change for the better would be how convenient everything is now. We went from having to do money orders, mail in things. We still have to mail in things, but money orders, checks, waiting several days to meet, waiting several days to schedule certain events based on our calendars, to now having electronic pay, electronic ways to meet. We have Google Meets now. We've always had Zoom, but Google Meet, Teams meetings, it just made it a little more convenient for people to come together and for people to make payments, really. From my being in an organization for as long as I've been in it, 10 years this year, I feel like it's changed for the better in a sense where I can now go in and pay for anything and almost everything online related to my sorority. We have things like Cash App now where you can Cash App people or Cash App the chapter for things that you owe and things like that. So I think that things like that have changed for the better for new members as well, where if they have to make a payment, they have to go in online and do it. They don't necessarily have to wait on anybody to get it done. If you have the money, you pay right there. You might pay a service fee, but you go in, you pay it, you're done. Quick and easy. The only thing that I would say would probably be annoying with that would be banks, like waiting on how long it takes for your bank to allow the payment, because some organizations, or not some organizations, some banks will, they will put a hold on your account if you make a withdrawal that exceeds an amount that you did not previously disclose to them. So watch out for that. For those of you who are interested in doing intake or who are in that beginning stage and maybe thinking of electronic payment, call your bank before you try to do a heavy amount of money. Heavy withdrawal is what I'm trying to say. Make sure you talk to your bank before you're doing that, because that will impact you negatively if you're trying to pay your dues or pay your initiation fees and your bank stopped it because they're like, whoa, you've never paid that amount of dollars to this organization we've never seen before. Who are you? So something to pay attention to. Another thing that I think is great for the organization is the Zoom meetings, being able to meet virtually. I think that's really, really awesome to be able to come together more conveniently. Some people have had complaints about the virtual intake process versus the regular intake process, but in my opinion, whatever works. I've heard more good things than bad things about virtual intake. It's for the sake of growing the organization, so I'm all for growing organizations, which I think is really great. The organizations are thriving throughout 2020, we'll say. Since 2020, organizations have still grown and have maintained membership. Since the thing that I keep trying not to say, I think that it's been really, really great that organizations are still being able to sustain themselves despite this thing that took place in 2020. I think organizations are growing, especially Simic Row, because it's our centennial year, just saying. But I think that it's really awesome that despite this thing that occurred, organizations are still growing and people are still interested in joining Greek life, which I think is great. Some things that bring me concern would be how sustainable is it to make this way of functioning super convenient for people. Like for me, I've gotten super used to meeting virtually. So now when we have events in person, I'm like, oh, I have to get out of bed and go. That's gas money. That's time out of my day to actually go somewhere versus being at home. I can slip on my clothing for chapter and then pull it off to do whatever I gotta do. Me personally, I'm wondering how sustainable it's going to be to continue being virtual. I know some organizations have gone back to in-person based on different rules and regulations. Everybody's different, but definitely follow your organization's rules in regards to that. But I don't know how sustainable it would be to continue being virtual when the need to be in person is a whole lot more impactful than being virtual. Like the previous event that my chapter just completed, we were in person presenting these items to a local organization for women and children, and it just makes a bigger difference when you're physically there looking at the reaction of the person's face of something that you did for your organization, from your organization to this other organization in need. It's a whole different impact than just being virtual and sending something virtually. So I don't know how sustainable that would be. Another concern of mine that I'm not going to dwell on because I don't want it to become a thing is how do I put this? The thoughts of vaccination, we'll say. And should you or should you not be vaccinated or require vaccination in order to come together? And people have their different opinions on being vaccinated versus unvaccinated. People have their own opinions about being told what to do versus doing whatever they want to do. So that is something that's come to my mind with coming together. Like, would you be required? I know most businesses and most companies, most cities really, and states are requiring people to be vaccinated to just go outside or to just enter the building. So some people push back against that, and you can do whatever you want to do. You're within your rights to do whatever you feel like doing. But I wonder how that's going to impact organizations in the future in terms of, is that something that they would require? And I'm not speaking for any organization. I'm not even speaking for my own. These are just my own thoughts going forward. Is that something that's going to impact people? Because when you think about other sicknesses or diseases or, I guess, pandemics, but we haven't really had any of those, epidemics possibly, was there a requirement thereafter to do X number of things just to come back outside? So I'm wondering how that would impact people in the future. I am not speaking on it. Don't put it in the comments to ask me about it. I don't want to talk about it. I'm not speaking for anybody. I just want to put that out there as far as like, how is that going to work in the future? Because it's just something that's a part of life now. People want to be vaccinated, or not people, but you know, certain entities want people to be vaccinated. So I'm wondering how that's going to impact organizations in the future. Like, would that be a thing? But these are just my thoughts. My own opinion of the state of intake right now is that it's still thriving and still doing well. For those of you who had some shared experiences with intake during 2020 up until now, please put them in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts. How did it go for you? What would you have changed? Would you make any changes? Was everything great? Let me know in the comments. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.